this is Steve and Rachel from Cellar Designers Group. We're here in Orange, California to discuss a very unique, amazing wine cellar that we recently built here in this new construction home. We did some amazing things. Like the owner really wanted to get max capacity, so we did some very unique things inside the cellar to get to that point. The capacity of the cellar is 4,500 bottles. It has a lot of different magnums, from half bottles to large format bottles to a lot of the 750s. So it's got a big range. One thing that's very unique about this cellar, or what the owner owns, he owns about 95% Burgundy bottles. And why is that important? Well, all the bottles are around 3 3/4 cubicles. So we had to make most, if not all, of the cubicles big enough to hold 3 3/4 size bottles for everything. So a very unique collection because it's all the French Burgundy that he owns. The style he wants, and very simple but very unique. And what I mean by that is he didn't want very much light, didn't want very much pizzazz. In the end, you'll see behind me, there's a lot of pizzazz and it looks very amazing. A couple of things we did. This is a Alder door, so we made a laminated veneered lumber. So what does that mean is our door is a core of laminated veneered lumber, guaranteed never to warp. We have an automatic door bottom that automatically seals when the door is shut. We have a dual pane tempered glass in the cellar. As we enter,
I'm going to tell you about the wine barrel flooring.
So with this is that we used a wine barrel flooring, and so in this flooring we have the rights to be able to take the barrels, we flatten them out, and this is called our stave. So there's some inside of the bottle and outside of the bottle, and you can also see some of the rings where the stave was around it. Also inside here, the racks. All the racks are Alder wine racks, what's called our early American stain. We have different sections. So this is our champagne and magnum areas. We have specific cubbies that he wanted to be a specific height and depth and width, which we were able to do as well. As we come through here, and all this is a double depth. So you're able to fit 2 bottles for every single one that you have here. So you can actually see how there's not only one, but there's 2 bottles for these racks. So he really cares about capacity, not showing off his wine, even though he's got an amazing wine collection. Probably over $1 million worth of wine in this home. He has some of the most vintage wines and rare wines that you cannot find anywhere else.
Check out this wine barrel tabletop.
So what we did, in addition to the floor, we did the tabletop along with the floor. So in this section you can put bottles of beer, very old, unique, German, Italian, but also half bottles of Riesling. What really makes this cellar, as you can see, the cooling unit's on right now. But what we did is a very special cooling unit, one of the best cooling units you can have. We did a ducted cooling unit. The ducted cooling unit is, as you can see up here, you won't see it, you don't hear it. All you do is get the air. So what we do is we duct it in from the outside. So it's on the other side of the wall in the garage, and we just duct it right in. Have a lot more BTUs, but also to be able to have, one, aesthetically, you don't see anything. You just see a grill. You don't hear anything. When you use other brands, some Whisper Cools or some Wine Guardians or some of these others, that is a brand name, but sometimes you don't get the benefit of having it to be quiet. He wanted the best possible quality cooling unit you can buy, and that's what he has. He's got the best ducted unit you can have from Cellar Designers Group. Double the cost, but he's going to have a unit that's going to last twice as long as any other brand named cooling unit. But it's also about the aesthetics, and it's also, most importantly, the noise capacity. More important to him was the capacity to have the double deep, not show off his bottles, and the cooling unit. But in addition to that, what we did for this room is part of the garage. So what we did is we built the foundation in the garage. We built it up 12 inches. So we built up the room from 12 inches, and so it's all cemented, but what we did from there was not use the typical 2 inches of foam insulation. We used 5 inches of foam in this room. The customer is very adamant to have that to get the most R value you possibly can have in a wine room, to get the best insulation, to have the most efficiency with this cooling unit. to be able to have the lifespan that he's looking for. So as you can see, his unit is perfectly set for 65% humidity, and it's at 55 degrees right now. That's important. He wanted to have the most highest humidity that you can have at a wine room. A normal cooling unit, or a unit that mostly comes from anywhere else, it's about 40% humidity. He wanted it to get to about 60 to 65% humidity because it's great, better for the corks, it's better for the environment, for the wine, for the long term. He's not a short-term wine drinker. He's someone who buys a bottle of wine and plans on drinking that in 20 years.